Hello there, my name is Diana Feuerbach. I'm very happy to be hosting today's film talk regarding the wonderful documentary called Amina. We have two guests from Turkey today. One is the film's director, Kivilcim Akay. Welcome, Kivilcim, to this talk.
Thank you.
And the second person is the film's producer, Aslihan Alltag, also joining us from Turkey, maybe from Istanbul, correctly?
Yes,
Okay.
both from Istanbul.
Okay, welcome, ladies. Maybe as an introduction, I would like to read a brief synopsis of the film, because maybe the people who are listening to our talk haven't watched it yet. So here I go. This documentary, Amina, offers a glimpse into the life of Amina, a Senegalese woman living and working in Turkey for the past 7 years. Amina often hides in a dream world to cope with the separation from her daughter, who stayed behind with their family. Amina hopes to bring her daughter to Turkey soon. In the meantime, she finds solace in the Senegalese community in Istanbul, her home away from home. Well, I would like to start with a very basic question put to Kivilcim and maybe also to Aslihan. How did this amazing project come about?
Kıvılcım çevireyim mi sana?
Ben anlatayım. Şuradan başlayabiliriz. 2016 yakın arkadaşım Aslı Çelikel'in yapmış olduğu fotoğraf projesinde karşılaştım ilk Amina'yla.
So everything started in 2016. Kıvılcım had a photographer friend called Aslı, and she met Amina through her.
Kivilcim, as a director, managed to really gain her trust, which of course is the most important thing in doing documentaries. You need to get your protagonist to open up, and I think you succeeded very well. It's a very intimate, truthful and touching portrait.
Amina'yı bütün bu aslında diğer insanlardan, Türkiye'de bulunan diğer Afrikalılardan senin için ayıran en büyük özellik neydi? Zaten film bunu kendini çok belli ediyor. Sen de hani bir yönetmen olarak bunu çok iyi başarmışsın, karakterinin kendini açmasını. Farkı neydi onu soruyor.
Benim için farkı esasen şuydu. Hiçbir şekilde şikayet etmeden geleceğini, hayallerini ve her şeyin çok daha iyi olabilmesi için bir hayata tutunma çabası beni çok büyülemişti. Ama aslında Amina ile tanıştıktan sonra resmini de tanıdığımda Afrikalı göçmenlerin hemen hemen birçoğunda aynı tutkunun var olduğunu gördüm. Ama tabii Amina'nın duruşu ve bakışı herkesten farklıydı benim için.
So she was different because she had a difficult life, but she wasn't complaining at all, and she was really compassionate about life, about what's waiting ahead of her in the future. And that was the first thing that made her different for Kivilcim. And of course, she has this like aura that like she impresses you immediately with her look, with her words. But when she got to meet with her friends and the other African community in Istanbul, she realized that most of them are the same. Like they are here with their hopes. They are not like complaining much, but they are waiting to perhaps like reach a better life.
Mm-hmm. Well, that definitely comes across. Well, what's interesting to audiences who are not from Turkey and who are not involved with the fashion industry is probably that Istanbul is such a fashion hub. And I knew this, and I know this because I can tell you exactly, because I traveled quite a bit to Russia and to Ukraine. And if you want to buy nice things there, a lot of the times they're from Turkey. So we have your protagonist, Amina, entering into this world of Istanbul fashion designers, and it directly fuels her dreams because she is hoping to become a model, and she actually succeeds. I mean, she models dresses in various stores correctly.
Yeah.
That was amazing because, well, I don't think we have that kind of job in Germany, you know. If you want to buy a dress, you just look at the stuff. Okay, well, then you try it on yourself.
Yeah,
But,
actually, we didn't know we have it in Turkey as well. We figured out that with Amina. Because it's basically the area she's working, called Laleli. It's like many immigrants live in that neighborhood, and most of their clients are actually not from Turkey. As you said, like they're from Russia, they're from different African countries. So most of them, the customers are not buying for themselves. They're buying for others. So they want to see it, the dresses on a model before they choose.
Sorry.
Bless you. Okay, well, that's what makes the film appealing in a visual way, you know, because you have colors, you have the fabrics, you have a world of beauty that this young woman has managed to enter, even though we also realize that she works long hours and she works very hard and very diligently. And her co-workers whom we get to meet, they're also not Turkish, right? They're from other countries as well. But this is something that you pick on slowly.
Yes. Yes, like many of the workers in her store are all immigrants from different countries, from African countries and from Central Europe. Yes.
And then, of course, the main emotional thread of the story is Amina's relationship with her daughter, who had to stay behind in Senegal. And whom she, I think in the film, she says that she hasn't seen her in person in 2 years because she hasn't been back home in 2 years. Luckily, one can talk on the phone these days, with video calls, but it's not the same, right? So, and I think you did a good job, Kivilcim, in making the audience comprehend that on the one hand, this is what ails Amina constantly, you know, it's the pain of not being with her daughter. But at the same time, it's also the thing that keeps her going and that provides her with energy and strength. What was it like for you to be traveling to Senegal with her?
Onunla seyahat etmek üzerine sanırım biraz daha şey yapacağız.
Aynen.
Doğru.
Yani senin de 2 yıldır kızını Amina görmüyordu. Bu onu hem çok üzüyor hem de çok motive ediyor bir taraftan, daha doğrusu burada mücadele etmesi için. Senegal'e gitmek onunla birlikte senin için nasıldı?
Biz Senegal'e buradan ekipten sadece 3 kişi gidebildik. Aslihan, ben ve Aslı Çelikel. Aslı Çelikel aynı zamanda demin de bahsettiğim gibi Amina ile tanışmamıza yol açan arkadaşım. Ve onunla beraber seyahat etmek aslında bizim için yeni bir dünyayı keşfetmek gibi, çünkü uzaktan bakmak ve görmekle aynı değildi hiçbir şey. Bir Afrika gerçeği var önümüzde, kolonyalist bir sistemden bahsediyoruz. Bir yandan Amina'nın duyguları var, kızıyla buluşacak. Birçok duyguyu aslında iç içe yaşadığımız, hazmetmeye çalıştığımız bir süreçti bu. Kolay bir şey değildi ama sanıyorum hayatımızın en enteresan deneyimlerinden birisiydi duygusal olarak da. Bir annenin kızıyla buluşması her şeyden önce sanıyorum en etkileyici ve en insani, vicdani duygulardan biriydi diye söyleyebilirim.
So we went to Senegal, Kivilcim, me, and the photographer friend we mentioned, Aslı. It was just three of us because of like budget-wise problems. We could only arrange tickets for like four of us, Amina included. So it was, we can say that it was kind of an experience such as like discovering a new world, because it's not the same like hearing how Senegal was, like how Amina tells it. But going there and seeing it in person is such a different experience. And actually we had like a very different mix of emotions. Because there's this truth about Africa, how some of the European countries colonialized the country, how limited sources they have, and then there is the life standards they have. Like that's why all of these people are immigrating, and also there was this aspect, as you mentioned, the relationship of Amina with her daughter. It's one of the most touching moments for us throughout the journey when they met, and for the first time after 2 years, and it was so moving for us.
Evet, bir şunu da eklemek gerekiyor. Bunu kendi gözümüzle görmek, ya bir şeyi ölçüp tartmak için değil ama kendi gözümüzle görmek çok önemliydi. Evet, Amina buraya gelmeseydi belki kızına hiçbir zaman hayal ettiği hayatı sunamayacaktı. Çünkü onu burada yani Senegal'de sağlamasının ne kadar imkansız olduğunu, Fransızlara ait olan bir ülkeden bahsediyoruz aslında. Benim için öyleydi, benim deneyimim öyleydi. Kendi ülkesinin vatandaşları için yapabileceği hiçbir şey olmayan bir yerde Amina'nın kızına bir hayat sunabilme imkanının olmadığını kendimiz deneyimlemiş olduk.
And it was also really interesting for us to see that actually Amina couldn't probably offer the same life or the standards that her daughter is having right now if she would have stayed in Senegal. Because when you go and see with your own eyes that there are no options, there are no jobs or no nothing much to make money or to take care of your daughter without like having any sources. And for me, Senegal is like a country mostly belongs to France, at least for me. It's how it looks. So it was really interesting to see that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was interesting to see it was a large family who turned out to meet her, and they were all together in the house, and you get a sense that it's not just the daughter, but it's also maybe the rest of them who rely so heavily on Amina to be sending money home every month. And well, sadly enough, this is also maybe the issue that keeps her from really getting ahead in Turkey and making a better life for herself there. Because if you have to send a large portion of your money home every month, then how much can you keep for yourself? And this is something that she also explains in the film. And there are, when you watch this documentary, it's a little bit of a roller coaster ride, because there are very uplifting moments. For example, the shoot, the photo shoot of the various immigrant women, and they're all really beautifully made up and in this red fabric and being photographed on the large outdoor staircase. And Amina is so happy, so happy, and so happy. And then a couple of scenes later, it turns out that she had to move. She and her sister, they lost her apartment, had to look for a new one. It was really, really difficult. And it was the only time in the film when she was nearly crying, maybe, and when really some of her emotions that she manages to keep so well under the carpet sometimes, when they sort of started to show, That was my impression. I don't know if I'm wrong.
Yani Amina'nın duygularıyla ilgili çok hassas davranmaya çalıştım. Doğru anladıysam cümleyi.
Yani aslında şeyden bahsediyor. Bütün bu şeyde Amina'nın aslında işte moda sahnesi vesaire olduğu zamanlar mesela çok mutlu ama bir sonraki birkaç saniye sonrasında ablasıyla beraber evlerini kaybediyorlar. Ve aslında bütün bu süreçte neredeyse hani böyle gözlerinin dolduğu, hani çok fazla duygularını hani o derecede belli ettiği başka bir fazla bir an göremiyoruz aslında. Onun da nasıl geçtiğinden bahsediyor.
Bu benim çok kişisel tercihimdi. Bu özellikle aslında benim üzerinde durduğum bir şeydi. Çünkü Amina'nın çok fazla ağladığı sahne var. Biz çoğu zaman o ağladığı yerlerde kamerayı kapatmayı tercih ettik. Çünkü bu tarz belgesellerin birçoğunda çok kolaya kaçmaktır. Onu ağlarken göstermek. Belki bazılarına yanlış da gelebilir ama sadece ağlayan bir karakter değil, daha çok güçlü bir şekilde ayakta durmaya çalışan bir karakter. Ona yakışır, kendini gerçekten doğru hissettiği pozisyonda onu göstermekle yükümlü olduğuma inanıyorum. Yoksa onu ağlarken göstermek dünyanın en kolay şeyi ve en izletilebilir şeyi. Ama bu benim hayattaki kişisel duruşumla ve bakışımla çok örtüşmeyen bir şey. Çünkü bir trajedi yaratmak ve bundan bir çıkar sağlamak benim isteyeceğim en son şey olurdu.
So actually, there were a lot of times that we witnessed Amina crying, and in those times we stopped the camera. So Kivilcim didn't prefer to shoot those scenes. And she did it on purpose because she didn't want to portray her as a desperate or a miserable character, because actually she is not. Of course, when telling all these memories again and again makes her emotional, and eventually she cries. But it's kind of sometimes happens in these kind of documentaries when you're having like a story like that. You may show your character crying, sad, desperate, but Kivilcim thinks that it's not the way to do it. It's not the way she prefers. It's much more easier to do that and make the film more maybe watchable, let's say. But she prefer not to do it on purpose, and we stopped actually rolling each time we had a scene like that.
Very interesting. Well, nonetheless, I would like to highly recommend this documentary to our B3 audiences. And I would like to ask the two ladies two things. One of them, are you still in touch with Amina? How is she doing today? And the second question is, what projects are the both of you currently working on?
İlk soru, ikimize de Amina ile hala görüşüyor muyuz? İkinci soru da hangi projeler üzerinde çalışıyoruz?
Amina ile hala görüşmeye devam ediyoruz. Zaten birlikte haberleşiyoruz sürekli. Pandemiden dolayı sadece iletişimimiz fiziken biraz kopsa da telefonda konuşmaya ve yazışmaya hala devam ediyoruz. Çünkü Amina sadece portresini çektiğimiz bir karakter değil, hayatımıza girmiş arkadaşlarımızdan biri artık.
So the first question I can answer for both of us. So we're still seeing Amina. We keep in touch. But of course, because of the pandemic, we haven't seen her for the last couple of months. But we shot the documentary in 2017. And since then, we've been seeing each other, speaking on the phone, because she's not just a character that we portrayed. She was Kivilcim's friends before, then we became friends all together. And actually, just a quick note, her daughter made it to Istanbul the next year, we did the documentary, but just for a vacation. But still, she got to see where her mother lives.
It was first time.
Great. And what projects are the both of you currently working on? New documentaries, or maybe a new fashion project, as Kivilcim did before?
Öncelikle iki tane şeyden bahsedebiliriz. Bir Ertil Master of Complication'dan bahsedebiliriz, birlikte yapımcılığını yaptığımız. Bir ikincisi üzerine hala senaryosuna çalıştığım Xland isimli oryantalizm eleştirisi olan kurmaca bir dokümenter uzun metraj film.
So actually, we are working together on another documentary, but this time we are both the producers. It's called Ertil, Master of Complications. It's yeah, it's about an 80-year-old retired architect living in Istanbul, and he has like no customers for the past 15 years, but he still goes to his office every day, and he creates himself imaginary projects. So he draws on 3D, and he draws like big projects that he would never like no one would go to him and say, Ertil, do it please. So yeah, it's his story.
Okay.
Yeah, we are in late production now, so probably we'll be completing that one in 2021. And the Kivilcim is also working on another project. It's a feature length, actually mockumentary, we can say. It's called Xland, and it's kind of about the criticism of Orientalism, I might say.
Well, both sound really fascinating, and hopefully you can come back to B3 and have them screened at the festival. And maybe, hopefully, in subsequent years, we also get to meet in person. Because normally, you know this, you would have been invited to Frankfurt and you would have get to meet everyone. Unfortunately, this year it's not possible, but it was great to meet you digitally during this brief chat. Thank you very much. All the best to you. And to all.
Thank you so much as well. It was really great for us to join B3 this year, even if it's online. But hopefully, as you said, in the next editions, we'll be there. Hopefully with our new projects.
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's hope. How do you say bye bye in Turkish?
Güle güle.
Güle güle.
Like, yes, it's kind of like if you can also say it like with a smile. Yeah, it kind of means that.
Aha. Okay, well then we all do it together now. Güle güle.
Güle güle.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.